Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a truly fascinating framework, one that completely challenges the relentless and, let's be honest, exhausting hustle of the modern world. The source material we're exploring today completely redefines the very nature of wealth and manifestation. We're not looking at wealth as something you desperately chase after, but rather as a profound state of being that you just naturally align with. So get ready, because we are about to challenge some of your foundational assumptions about money, reality, and your own boundless potential. Let's start with a reality check. How many of you out there feel like you're doing absolutely everything right? You know the feeling. You're working endlessly, putting in the grueling hours, you're being incredibly patient, and yet you still feel completely stuck, whether that's financially or spiritually. You might find yourself sitting there asking, why doesn't hard work always equal true wealth? It's an exhausting, frustrating question. Okay, let's dive into this, because the texts we're looking at today offer a totally different and honestly pretty mind-bending perspective on how abundance actually works. Section 1. The illusion of money. Historically, human beings traded physical, tangible things, right? You traded your fish for someone else's rice. But today, money is largely just flashing pixels on a digital screen or a quick tap of plastic at a checkout counter. The framework points out that it's essentially a massive collective illusion. It's something we've all just mutually agreed to believe in. And the beautiful thing is, once you realize those digits are merely agreed upon symbols, the heavy psychological grip they have on your daily life really starts to loosen. This brings us to a deeply philosophical realization from the text, and it's a powerful one. Money itself has absolutely zero inherent energy. None. We are the ones who grant it power. The argument argues that whether you're incredibly wealthy and constantly anxious about losing it all, or if you're totally broke and losing sleep over basic survival, the trap is exactly the same. Your consciousness is being pinned down by the illusion of currency. The core philosophy here is that your true value is an inherent birthright. It is completely unmeasurable by a digital bank balance. Moving right along to Section 2, the mind's secret language. So the text suggests your mind doesn't actually communicate with the universe in English or Spanish or Thai. Its true language is energy, frequency, and vibration. Think of it exactly like tuning a car radio. If you tune your dial to FM 105, you are going to hear that specific station. If your mind is constantly broadcasting on a frequency of stress or lack, well, you simply can't magically hear the music of abundance. You physically have to reach out and change the station. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is where ancient spiritual wisdom collides straight into hard biological science. Notice the concept of neuroplasticity here. It proves that our brains physically rewire themselves based entirely on our thoughts. I mean, think about it. If you wake up in a cold sweat from a nightmare, your body reacted as if it were entirely real, right? Your heart was pounding. By consciously directing your thoughts and feelings, the text argues you are literally sculpting a brand new biological and energetic reality for yourself. Which leads us perfectly into Section 3, shifting your energy dimensions. The source material presents us with the daily choice between two totally different states of being, and this brilliantly illustrates the contrast. On one hand, you have the 3D reality. That's the exhausting material world we are all so used to, deeply rooted in fear, intense competition, and the illusion of scarcity. But then you have the 5D reality. This represents a much higher frequency. It's characterized by absolute love, effortless abundance, and oneness. And to be clear, it's not some sci-fi dimension you travel to in a spaceship. The authors describe it as a profound state of mind that you can tune into right now. Think of it as an evolution of your own mindset. We all start out in 3D, focused purely on survival and exactly what our physical eyes can see. But as we begin to awaken, we enter a 4D transition phase. This is where things get a bit mystical. Your life becomes full of strange synchronicities, and suddenly you have this really powerful intuition. Finally, if you continue to elevate, you arrive at 5D. The main idea here is that you recognize everything in the universe is intimately connected. There is zero separation, only infinite possibility. Section 4. Crafting your new identity. The framework treats this concept as an absolute, unbreakable, universal law. Your outer life is simply a reflection of your inner beliefs, a mirror. We are so often held back by these invisible ceilings, things like inherited traumas or deeply ingrained inner child wounds. The text strongly stresses that if you fundamentally feel unworthy of love or success deep down, the universe is just going to mirror that unworthiness right back to you. You absolutely have to heal the inner world before that outer mirror can change. So how exactly do we fix the mirror? Let's move to Teo and see how this builds into the true architecture of manifestation. It's a 3-step process.
Step 1. Visualize the exact structure of what you desire. Get clear on it. Step 2. Add vivid sensory details. What does it actually sound like, smell like, or feel like in your hands? And then step 3, which is by far the most critical, fuel it with raw, elevated emotion. When you combine a crystal clear vision with deep, powerful emotion, your brain accepts it as truth right then and there, literally pulling the future into the present.
It's actually a classic psychological trick. A lot of people call it the red car effect. If someone tells you to look out for a red car today, suddenly you see them absolutely everywhere on the road, right? They were always there. Your brain just wasn't tuned to care about them before. When you hyper-focus your mind on the abundance of 5D, your brain effortlessly starts spotting these massive opportunities and synchronicities in the normal 3D world that everyone else is just walking right past.
And finally, Section 5, the art of receiving.
Now, this is where so many people get stuck on this journey. The universe might be totally ready to unleash a torrential downpour of wealth, love, and opportunity upon you. So the crucial point is, if your internal capacity, meaning your own sense of self-worth, is only the size of a tiny little shot glass, well, that is all you'll ever be able to catch. The rest of it just overflows and washes away. You have to actively do the work to expand the vessel of your own worthiness.
So how do you actively expand that vessel? It starts with daily practices. By practicing giving freely, completely without secret strings attached. By learning how to accept things gracefully, like when someone gives you a compliment, don't awkwardly deflect it. Actually say thank you and let yourself feel it. You also need to establish fierce, energetic boundaries to protect yourself from all the draining fears of the world around you. And ultimately, you just have to release control, trust the process, and let the energy flow. Ultimately, the core philosophy shared by the Art of Inner Self community boils down to one undeniable, powerful truth. Abundance isn't just a number sitting in a bank account. It is an elevated state of consciousness. It's that deep, unwavering knowing that you are entirely whole, infinitely valuable, and completely worthy simply because you exist. The text argues that when you finally prioritize that internal peace and spiritual alignment, the material wealth naturally, effortlessly follows. So we arrive at a crossroads together. The traditional 3D world is always going to demand your fear, your exhaustion, and your endless hustle. But this 5D framework suggests a beautiful world of effortless flow is waiting right beside it, just out of sight. The blueprint has been outlined, the energy is already there, and the choice, as always, is entirely yours. Are you ready to leave the scarcity behind and finally claim your inherent worth? Keep questioning, keep elevating, and we'll see you in the next explainer.